Good evening. Welcome to Daily Talk with your host, Rich Vernadeau. And this evening I'm having one of my guests, at least, is going to be TRENT ELEM, who plays a number of different roles on Crazy Insane Radio, my series, which airs on YouTube. I want to invite everybody to continue to watch it. Leave a comment. Please subscribe. It's the Richard Vernadeau channel on YouTube. I now have a number of other things going on there, too. A lot of these Daily Talk Researcher 135's community calls that I do here on www.talkshoe.com. Not only is the sound of each show archived here permanently at TalkShoe, where you can listen to any show or download it or share it, but I will take each of these audio shows, each of these radio shows, and I then create YouTube videos from them, which then appear on my YouTube channel. Again, Richard Vernadeau, Vernadeau, on YouTube. And I would like for you to watch them. I would like for you to comment on them. By all means, ask questions. And any callers who happen to call into the show tonight, feel free to ask Trent questions about the different parts that he plays on my Crazy Insane Radio show. Among them are, of course, Dr. Derrickson. And as soon as Trent arrives on the show, I will begin to ask Trent questions about the parts that he plays just as soon as he calls into the show, and he will tell you what it's like. He will tell you what it's like. Now, I've enjoyed producing, directing, writing, creating this show enormously. It is one of my passions. Now, there are spinoff shows too, and let me tell you about the spinoffs. Because if you enjoy Crazy Insane Radio, you will also enjoy my spinoff shows. One of them is Murgatroyd, The Early Years. Murgatroyd, The Early Years shows you all of the main central characters of Murgatroyd, all the main central characters of Crazy Insane Radio, but it shows you a few years all the way up to a few months before the central action that takes place in the 27, and I'm now in season 28 of Crazy Insane Radio, so you'll know and recognize and love all the characters, and it's a good place for someone who's new to my series to start with Murgatroyd, The Early Years. Now, I have another series that, as far as time goes, it parallels or runs simultaneous with Crazy Insane Radio, and it is called Murgatroyd After Dark. And on there, I just get a little more detailed with some of the characters, more characterization. There's maybe a little edgier, maybe a few things I do in Murgatroyd After Dark that I don't do in Crazy Insane Radio. But again, same set of characters, and so they're all crossovers, and all of these characters, move or exist in each of the series. And then there is the future one. It takes place in 2049, 2050. The Future Hope Saga. This involves a space vessel which leaves Earth, and I don't want to reveal too much about the character involved that is responsible for the mass destruction of Earth and what's going on. I will tell you the character's name. It's King Pedestrian, but I don't want to give out too many spoilers because you want to watch the episode to see what's happening. There's a number of episodes that deal with all of this. Anyway, in Future Hope Saga, a group of humans, a fairly large group actually, have escaped in a space vessel called the Future Hope. They've escaped from Earth. They've gone out into the galaxy. They have warp speed, the speed of light, etc. And among these characters are familiar faces you'll recognize from Crazy Insane Radio, like Timmy, the skateboarder, who's now a cyborg. Of course, Flashy, the paper doll. She's on board the vessel. And a televangelist and a portion of his congregation or group or cult or whatever you want to call it, they have gotten on board the Future Hope too. And they're sort of disruptive. I don't want to get into too much yet, but some of the episodes deal with their not being too happy with the technocracy and with the technology that actually saved their lives and got them out there into space. In their minds, that's what destroyed the Earth. So, of course, they want to try to proselytize and bring their particular, they want to evangelize everybody on the ship and try to change things. But Major Quint is not going to have any of that. So that's going a lot of fun, and that is called the Future Hope Saga, and that is now in its second season, and that's going very, very well. So I want to definitely invite you to watch all of these different shows, these different episodes, these different seasons, and of course leave a comment after each episode or each show. And again, we're waiting for Trent to arrive, and whenever he does, I will ask him questions about the parts he plays. But go ahead and let me tell you a little while you're listening about these characters. And among them, of course, is Dr. Derrickson. And Dr. Derrickson is actually the character. Not only was he Apronhead's psychiatrist, but Dr. Derrickson developed the energy time flux field through which various characters in the show have traveled to different time periods. And there's a number of timelines that are taking place in different seasons of Crazy Insane Radio. And again, without giving away anything or giving away any spoilers, various characters occasionally have traveled to different time periods in that show. Another character, of course, that he's played is in a parallel universe, which also exists, and we'll be talking to him about that, and that is President Clint, who is president over in a parallel universe. And I'm sure that Clint will have a lot to tell us about what it's like to play these characters, what he puts into these characters, and how much he enjoys being a part of this series, being an actor in this series. By the way, these are available on DVD. You can purchase them directly from me. Rich Vernadeau, 218 Bottom Street, Paris, Texas, 75460. Check or money order is fine. If you have PayPal, you can PayPal me at Gideon137@live.com and send a payment. And each season is $9.99. Each season runs about an hour and has 15 or 20 episodes in it normally. And again, there are 27 different seasons, and you can buy as many seasons as you want. And you can watch all of these seasons on YouTube as well and preview them. And as soon as Trent is here on the air, we will begin our interview with Trent. And I believe that he'll be arriving here shortly. If you've never seen Crazy Insane Radio, again, the easy way to find it is to get right there on YouTube and go to the Richard Vernadeau channel, and then you can watch. A lot of people are going to start with episode 1 and watch it all the way through, and I would recommend that. I would definitely recommend that you start, and here's our guest now. Good evening, Trent Elem, and welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome, Trent. Well, you've been one of the main actors. In fact, many of the comments that people leave when they watch a YouTube episode is about how outstanding your acting ability is. So I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you being a part of this show.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I have to tell you, I absolutely love it.
Well, thank you, Trent. I would like for you to tell our listeners tonight and our future viewers in the YouTube video that's going to be made from this, tell us about what it's like to play the characters. I'd like to start off with the first character you played, which I believe is Dr. Derrickson. Tell us what it's like to play Dr. Derrickson and what you put into that role.
Dr. Derrickson, yeah, he was the first and the latest that I've actually played. I think he's my favorite. I like him, especially because, it's difficult because I don't want to give, too much away. I don't want to spoil anything.
Right. And Understood.
A lot of his character is, if I were to explain anything about him, I would have to really go into detail on the multiple universes, and that we can't really do that. But I have to tell you, I love his character. I love his enthusiasm. He's aware, on point, capable, and just like every other character, in the show, that's one thing is the characters are vibrant and full of life and real, and just something about it. I think it's the writing, honestly. I got to give it up to the writer, because it is just all throughout, it's emotionally gripping, it's funny, it's real, while being satirical at other times, and it's really impressive.
Trent, I want to thank you for the compliments on my writing, very definitely. Now, I want to tell you or ask you a little about your acting. Would you describe yourself as a method actor? Do you immerse yourself in the role of Dr. Derrickson, or how do you go about becoming Dr. Derrickson when you play the role?
You know, I can't say I'm a method actor, because it's not really to the fullest extent where I really, for just the entire time I'm playing the character, I become the character. But something about Dr. Derrickson specifically, and I'm not sure what it is, I identify with him, you know, a great deal. His theories, his beliefs, his thoughts, his knowledge. Of course, he's far more intelligent than I am, but I love the way he presents, you know, the information in a way that, you know, a typical person can really grasp and understand.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Go ahead.
Yes. Well, I was going to also ask you one of the other characters that you play in the alternate universe, President Clint. Tell us about how you go about that.
You know, now that one I really I like to think that I really just, the whole time I'm playing President Clint, I am him, especially with, you know, the more recent issues that have been occurring and everything, and I feel like it's more of a dream. It's more of a dream, really. It's something that I would want to play. I would want to be, you know, President Clint, and especially what he is now. And I just, something about that kind of absolute power, but in I mean, he's almost like he's a Kennedy type figure, you know. He's just really charismatic, and he's just you just enjoy him. You just love him. You know, you want to be around him. You want to feel the warmth of his presence, and it's just.
I would agree with that, and I try to write him that way. Now, I believe there may have been one or two other characters. Correct me if I'm wrong, that you played in addition to these two, and if so, tell me more about what they were and what they were like and what it was like playing them.
Well, they were minor characters. Of course, everybody has, you know, a significant role, and that's one of the greatest things about, you know, the universes and the show itself and the different spin-offs is there's so much life in all of the characters. And even if it's a minor character who's playing who has one line in one episode, well, he's still a significant part of the universe as a whole.
As a matter of fact, Trent Elem, if I recall correctly, your debut character was the minister who married Les Tomac and Imogene Stokowski at their infamous wedding where the murgatroyd serial killer was shot. I believe you were the minister there at that wedding.
That's correct. I officiated that. Yes, that's correct.
And that, by the way, has gotten a lot of clicks, a lot of views, and a lot of viewers have commented on how much they enjoy what you brought to that part, even though that was a small part. As you said, there are no small parts. You know, there's the acting ability, which makes the part shine and which makes it stand out. I also believe that you were Ronson Kilroy at one point, that maybe you have played a reporter for TRZY, if I recall correctly.
That is exactly right. And that was one of the. I got to tell you that I like that character, but I enjoyed the minister. I enjoyed being the officiant at the wedding, not only because I just love Les Tomac. I mean, we all do, but it was. I could identify with it a lot more because in my real day-to-day life, I'm a reverend, so officiating weddings is something that I have had the privilege and pleasure of doing. So it was more like I was able to bring myself to that character, in a sense.
Absolutely, and I think that shines through and enhances the character greatly. And once again, I tremendously appreciate your talent, your acting ability, and your participation in this show, which now is entering season 28, and I assume will continue to go on because I have no ends yet written for the series in the foreseeable future, so it can go on indefinitely because, as I mentioned earlier, there are different time periods going on in this thing. There is a parallel universe, and even the main plot and the main interactions between the characters in the primary universe, which I call the Prime Universe, that can go on indefinitely because there's so many different things going on in Murgatroyd. Murgatroyd's a busy city with a lot of strange and interesting people in it, including the mysterious man in the hat. And anyone who's watched it has at least seen and knows what I'm talking about. The man in the hat appears anytime something catastrophic happens in or around Murgatroyd. There's a mysterious figure called the man in the hat who has not revealed a lot about himself yet. But he has had some interaction with key characters in Murgatroyd, including Timmy the skateboarder at one point, including Lieutenant Skitters a couple of different times. And, you know, we're not going to give away too much, but this man in the hat is a key figure who appears from time to time. And there's an air of mystery about it.
I'm excited. I'm excited to really learn more and to see more about the mysterious man. I really, I'm giddy with excitement. I cannot wait to see what happens.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. And who knows, Trent, you may even play that role at some point. Perhaps you will play the part of the man in the hat, too. Well, Trent, thank you for...
gratefully accept.
Thank you, Trent. Trent, I'm going to wrap up now. I want to thank you for being our guest tonight, and it's been fun. I'm looking forward to many, many future episodes with you in them.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure, and keep up the great work.
Thank you, Trent. Good night.
All right. Good night.